From the Richmond Fairgrounds Raceway, USA Sports brings you the Richmond 150. It's brought to you today by Mobil Super Unleaded Gasoline. Mobil Super Unleaded, higher octane for better performance. And by the only jeans that shrink to fit you and you alone, Levi's Button Fly 501 Blues. Every part of America takes pride in its stock car racing. Nowhere is that more exemplified than in the state of Virginia, the Mid-Atlantic region of NASCAR, the land that created stock car legends Curtis Turner and Joe Weatherly. Good afternoon to you. I'm Ken Squire at the Virginia State Fairgrounds in Richmond for a 150-lap late model stock car event. A year ago, we gave you the beginnings of this series in Nashville, Tennessee, when we saw some 20 cars attempt qualifying and do battle. Now over 60 came out. 30 have made the field, and Glenn Jarrett, a veteran of so many of these races, you can certainly speak to this field.
That's true, Ken. Imagine this. Less than 1 second separates the fastest qualifier from the 30th starting car in the field. These cars represent some of America's best stock cars. I think we're in for a very fast, exciting race. We have a beautiful day. I'm ready to go racing.
The man in the STP Pit Center for this event is a former Grand National champion, but knows this kind of racing well. Here is Benny Parsons.
Can you imagine the transition that the Grand National drivers have when they race at Daytona, Talladega at over 200 miles per hour? And they come to Richmond, Virginia, and they race at only over 100 miles per hour. Well, we have the same problem today. This 30-car field that we see, some of them have never raced at 100 miles an hour. 70, 80 miles an hour is the speed that they race. We're going to have to see how they handle the big racetrack as well as the extra speed. A couple of drivers that seem to have conquered the problem is the front row, and Jerry Garrett is with them now.
Well, these two guys are going to have their hands full keeping ahead of a very competitive field. Danny Ferry, you're the pole sitter. How much of an advantage do you have over these guys?
Well, I'm hoping to lead the first lap at least. From there on, I don't know.
Over here on my right is Curtis Markham. Curtis, you finished 35 of 37 races. What's the secret to finishing all these?
The secret is staying out of trouble. You know, this class is so really just so competitive that you can't believe it. So the object is just to stay out of trouble, because, you know, you can't win a race unless you finish it. So that's what we're going to do.
Well, that's the voice of authority right here from pit road.
Danny Fair and Curtis Markham on the front row in a field comprised of 20 Camaros, Chevrolet, Buick or two, 1 Ford in the field, several plain Chevys out here before a record crowd on a glorious day in Richmond, Virginia. And here you see the starting field in this half-mile track. Banked just 12 degrees in the corners, the straightaway some 600 feet long. They expect to reach about 100 miles an hour in these straightaways with these cars that will turn about 7,000 to 7,500 RPMs, as opposed to Grand National cars that would turn 84 or 85 here if they're cranked right. Stock intake, stock manifold, small carburetor, keeping the cost down on these machines. Cost of these cars, $10,000, perhaps $15,000, a few more than that. But generally, the idea is to keep it economically feasible to go racing on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night here in the Mid-Atlantic region of NASCAR. And indeed, it has been one of the most successful series that NASCAR has had. This is their first opportunity on a track of this size. And the consequences, well, we'll see. Will they be able to get used quickly to this half-mile track? Or will it be a wreck-strewn afternoon here in Richmond, Virginia? Let's now take a look at the starting lineup. On the pole, it's Danny Fair of Woodbridge, Virginia, and beside him is Curtis Markham, the Southside Speedway and Old Dominion track champion. Both potential super speedway champions, as are the drivers in row number 2. The 1984 Mid-Atlantic champion, he's flanked by Todd Taylor of Richmond, Virginia. Row number 3, Dave Blankenship, the South Boston Speedway champion, and Dave Webster of Hampton, Virginia. In row 4, it's Sid Carmines in his Camaro, and Roy Hendrick, son of Ray Hendrick, the famed modified driver. Row 5, it'll be Tucker Boyd of Virginia Beach, Virginia, and Ronnie Ratliff. Going to row 6, Phil Warren in his Camaro, and Sonny Simmons out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Row number 7 is Jim DeTellis, and alongside is Roger Austin. In row 8, it's Earl Rice and Jerry Shepard in the Bumpus Motors Ford. Row 9 is Alvin Tigner of Ashland, Virginia, and Wayne Hanbury of Norfolk, Virginia. In row 10, it's Bobby Cox and the second-place man in the Mid-Atlantic region last year, Wayne Patterson. Going to row 11, it's Bubba Adams, and watch for him to break fast, and Al Daly. Row 12 will be Tim Lithicum of Hampton, Virginia, and Charlie Ford. Row 13 is Jesse Spencer, and alongside is Bugs Harefield. The 14th row is Al Hilton, and he's flanked by Charlie Doyle. And finally, row 15, Doug Hartley of Owings, Maryland, and Barry Beggerly of Pelham, North Carolina. Approaching the starter stand for the green flag to commence the Richmond 150. And on the break, the red car, Curtis Markham, jumps out in front of Danny Fair as they go into turn number 1. In turns 1 and 2, Danny Fair back on the inside. The blue car, it's Fair back in front. Markham drops to second on the inside. Alton Sawyer making his move. He's trying to take second place away from Markham. Around they come to complete lap number 1. Fair is in the lead. Down the main straightaway, it's Sawyer and Markham side by side. Late model stock cars at the Richmond Fairgrounds, and setting the quick pace is Danny Fair out of Woodbridge, Virginia.
Yes, he is. He's starting to pull away from the field a little bit right now, Jim. We noticed Curtis Markham got caught up in the outside lane, and he's falling all the way back to 4th place right now, so he needs to get down in the bottom group.
The red car started outside of the front row, now back in the 4th position. Number 55, Curtis Markham, pulling up into 3rd. Into 2nd now, Alton Sawyer. Alton Sawyer in the 2nd spot. He's had a lot of experience, still just a young driver.
Yes, he is. He's got a big future ahead of him in NASCAR racing.
Into the main straightaway for another lap. Lead car, Danny Fair stays 1st. In 2nd now is Alton Sawyer, taking a peek at 1st place out of turn 2.
Elton's starting to put a little pressure on Danny Fair, the leader now. He looks like he's got his number. He just can't get under it to make the pass.
Oh, crash in turn number 2.
That's car number 88, Wayne Patterson, who is one of the role models for this division. Wayne has been running this division for the last 3 or 4 years. It looks like he's got some suspension damage on the right front of the car.
Slid across the track and picked up the outside. Number 88, Wayne Patterson, one of the top drivers in the Mid-Atlantic region. So after the first 4 laps have been completed, lead car on the field will be number 21, Danny Fair of Woodbridge, Virginia. And running in 2nd spot is Alton Sawyer. Running 3rd is Todd Taylor. There's Wayne Patterson's number 88. Out early after it, collided with the fence in turn 2.
Yeah, he hit the wall pretty hard. There's a big indentation in the guardrail where he hit it, and Wayne's crawling out of the car now, so it looks like he's through for the day. Tough break for a real tough competitor.
We'll be back with more of this late model stock car competition from the Virginia State Fairgrounds, Richmond, Virginia, after these messages. First incident of the day. We're back in the 9th lap at the Richmond, Virginia State Fairgrounds on this half-mile track. There you see the 12-degree banking of the turns. The straightaways are 40 feet wide in the front straightaway, 60 feet in the back stretch, and it's about a 120-mile straightaway for these cars.
Yes, this racetrack is very tight, particularly down the front stretch, Ken. When you're coming down there at full speed, it really looks like you're running down to the end of a tunnel.
Alton Sawyer trying to chase down the leader as we get ready to go back under green. Danny Fair from the point pulls away. 30 cars scheduled to start today, and on the start, jumping right back out in front is Danny Fair out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Chasing after him comes Alton Sawyer of Chesapeake, Virginia.
Elton made a move for him going into turn 3. Now he's trying to pull under him coming off of turn 4, but Danny squeezes him down the inside of the racetrack and cuts him off.
Third place car is Todd Taylor and Curtis Markham, who started outside of the front row, maintaining 4th. Again, Sawyer draws up and takes a shot at the inside.
You have 3 really evenly matched cars there running up front, and I think you're going to see Todd Taylor make a move on Elton Sawyer here pretty soon.
Here's Sawyer, 8-year veteran, 25 years old in 2nd place, taking a shot once again at the leader. Finds a hole on the inside. Sawyer drives it in there, and in lap number 13 goes for the lead. Number 44 working on the inside and trying to pull up is Todd Taylor of Richmond, Virginia.
They're running up on a slow car, but Elton squeezes by it and does take the lead as they start off the 4th turn, and now Todd Taylor in car number 44 is trying to put a move on Danny Fair to take over 2nd place.
Danny Fair almost caught on the outside. Looks like he has a little handle problem as they get into 2. There's the leader, Sawyer, trying to draw away.
Yeah, Danny's car doesn't seem to be cornering quite as well as he would like for it to. Now Elton's opened up a couple of car length lead on him.
Here's car number 6, Bubba Adams, getting a shot down the inside. He was running in 17th position, pulls down to the bottom and goes under Earl Rice.
Yeah, Bubba had a little misfortune in qualifying yesterday. He blew an engine as he went out to qualify, so he had to start pretty far back in the field. He has a very strong car. He's a very capable driver, and I think we should see him move up on the field pretty rapidly.
Look at him make a move on Roger Austin on the outside. Bubba Adams, fastest car in the second day of qualifying, running on a borrowed engine in car number 6, making his move and picking up the 14th position overall in the field now. Back with the leaders another time. And there you see, as they're deployed, Elton Sawyer stays in front. In second place is Danny Fair. Todd Taylor is third. Curtis Markham in fourth. Sid Carmine's now running in the 5th position. Dave Blankenship is in the 6th, and 7th belongs to Webster. Let's go to the STP Pit Center for some thoughts about, oh, here's number 44 taking his shot and not getting through is the car 44 of Taylor. Let's get some thoughts in the STP Pit Center. Here's Benny Parsons.
Yes, again, I've been watching the race, and Bubba Adams is moving up very fast. But Elton Sawyer is a young man that's impressive. Not only in this racetrack, but many, many races around this area. He's a young man who really has visions of NASCAR, Daytona, Talladega.
Well, here he is, staying out in front, the Mid-Atlantic champion of 1984. With fresh equipment for the 1985 season. Meanwhile, Bubba Adams in car number 6. He's in striking distance and trying to move in another time. Here you see the battle among the front 5, a little interval there between the first and then 2, 3, and 4 bumper to bumper.
Ken, Elton Sawyer started to open up a little lead now. He's got about a 4 or 5 car length lead. The second, third, and fourth place cars are battling among themselves for position, and this enables Elton to pull away from the field a little bit.
Danny Fair maintaining second spot. There's Elton Sawyer, your leader. Mid-Atlantic champion. He was track champion last year at the Langley Speedway in Hampton, Virginia. The car is owned by his dad, Everett Sawyer. Out of Chesapeake comes the leader, now pulling away to an 8-car length advantage over car number 21. Danny Fair in second, Todd Taylor in third. And in fourth is Curtis Markham, who also looks like he has a great future in stock car racing.
He certainly does. Curtis is a very personable young man. He's well liked by the competitors, and he's an extremely tough competitor. He runs well. He runs up front everywhere he goes.
Red number 55, which is right behind the 44 car, trying to close in. There you see him. And those 3 are gathering back up to take another assault at Elton Sawyer, the leader.
Yes, they stopped their battle among themselves momentarily to close the gap between them.
Have a spin at turn number 3. 1 car looping down to the bottom of the 3rd turn and brings out the caution for the 2nd time of the day in the 23rd of the 150 laps to be run. It's car number 9 that does the loop-de-loop. Ronnie Ratliff of South Boston, Virginia, getting around in car number 9, who had qualified in the 10th position, a Camaro, looping in turn 3.
Yes, Ronnie was running a very good race. I don't know if he got together with another car there that caused a spin or if he had a mechanical problem, but he has the car turned around now, and I don't think that he lost a lap. He got it straightened out and took back off again.
Back with more exciting action from Richmond, Virginia after these messages. With 31 laps complete, we're ready for resumption of this 150-lap event. Elton Sawyer in front. Danny Fair is second. Todd Taylor third. Curtis Markham fourth. Sid Carmine's in fifth. David Blankenship sixth. Todd Boyce is seventh. Then it's David Webster eighth, and Bubba Adams now finds himself in ninth position, coming from 21st in the early going, as the flag is about to come out, and we'll see if anyone can contain Elton Sawyer on the break. Front 4 cars draw away, and on the outside, number 6 wheels around 5 automobiles going down into turn number 1 and pulling up on car number 89. That's Bubba Adams on the outside, still trying to take down cars in that start. Sid Carmine's about to be overwhelmed by Bubba Adams in car number 6 with a borrowed motor. 5th place, and he took 6 cars on that restart. He really got the jump.
And he got off to a very, very good start. I don't think he passed the car before he took the green flag, so it seems to be a legal move. He's really got himself back in the thick of things right now.
Going for the 5th position is car number 6. On the inside, he nestles inside of car number 89 as they come off turn number 4, and it's going to be car number 6, Bubba Adams, taking over the 5th position all the way from 21st. Number 6.
We got We've got a crash over there involving the leader, Elton Sawyer. Now the field's bunched up behind him. It looks like 44 Todd Taylor is also involved, and another car is spinning. There's cars spinning everywhere on the racetrack now. There seems to be oil on the track. They're all sliding around.
The leader, Elton Sawyer's car, is all smashed up in the nose. A disappointing day for the 25-year-old driver in his 8th year of competition. They really expected big things out of Sawyer today. His dad, Everett Sawyer, built the car in which he ran 45 races last year in 112, and it will definitely be a DNF from this event. In replay, let's see if we can discern what happened here. The 0 car had been given the black flag, Earl Rice. He had been dropping oil, but it may well be that number 20, Sawyer, lost his engine, hand grenaded his engine down in turns 1 and 2 and got in his own oil. He was collected by Todd Taylor's number 44, and late in the incident, you see number 03, Jesse Spencer Jr. collect him, and then he is tagged by Alvin Tigner of Ashland, Virginia, so just no luck at all for the young Virginia bachelor, Elton Sawyer. Let's go to Benny Parsons at the STP Pit Center.
Ken Squire, I'm told that in 1958, when they started this event, they started 90 cars. And on the first lap, when the green flag was dropped, the first place car hit the last place car. And 90 cars to pile into it. We saw a wreck like this. How in the world did they keep from blocking the racetrack completely is beyond me.
We'll be back with more from the Virginia State Fairgrounds in Richmond, Virginia, after these messages. Back at Richmond, Virginia, one moment a potential winner, the next moment a disappointed onlooker. Let's join Jerry Garrett with Elton Sawyer.
One of the drivers knocked out in that crash, Elton Sawyer. What happened, Elton?
Well, Jerry, we went down the front straightaway, and the car just, like the motor quit, so I threw my hand up to let the guys behind me know there was something wrong with my car, and I stayed to the bottom. And evidently, Danny didn't catch my signal, and he got in the back of me. Really no harm done as far as being on purpose, just kind of messed our car up a little bit. More out of it for the day.
Thank you, Jerry. There are 3 cars knocked out. The Elton Sawyer car, the Jesse Spencer car has gone away, and number 22, Charlie Ford of Richmond, Virginia, back behind the wall. Pace cars coming in, and we're ready to resume action. With 42 laps complete as they cross the line, and back in front another time is car number 21, Danny Fair. Get through the speedy dry and down into the first corner. The car into second was the man who started outside when the race began, Curtis Markham. There you see the red car, Curtis Markham, and from 21st position, Bubba Adams is now in 3rd. Field wheeling around through turn 3, back into the main straightaway. Rock'em sock'em action in late model stock car competition. Virginia State Fairgrounds, Richmond, Virginia, number 21 continues to lead. Danny Fair, Markham 2nd, Adams 3rd, Sid Carmine's maintaining 4th, Blankenship 5th, Tucker Boyd is in 6th, and David Webster in 7th. Front 7 cars, just about bumper to bumper. And the 21 car of Danny Fair again is on the point. How stock is, a little love tap in the back straightaway. Here's 55 trying to loosen up the leader as they pull up on lap cars. Good scramble for the lead into the main straightaway. 32-year-old Danny Fair, who won 4 races back in 1984, stays out in front.
Ken, that's a brand new car that Danny's driving. It's the first race he's ever run in it. I spoke with him after qualifying when he sat on the pole. He's extremely well pleased with the car, and right now he has things going his way.
Out of Woodbridge, Virginia.
There is no points to report to you today because this is the first race of the season. But this year, these drivers will be competing for a national championship worth $25,000 and a regional championship worth $10,000. So points will be a big factor before the year is out.
Now these cars are called stock cars. How stock is stock, Jerry?
Well, these are the most true stock cars that NASCAR has in any division, Ken. These are basically stock engines with only a 30 thousandths over bore. They're stock intake, stock rods, stock pistons. Basically, all your engine components are stock. So these are the truest stock cars we have in NASCAR today.
As opposed to the Grand National Winston Cup engines, what, about 200 horsepower less?
Yeah, the Grand National Winston Cup engines pull about 600 or 620 horsepower. These pull around 400 to 410 horsepower.
And turn about 6,000 RPM as opposed to
Yeah, that's correct. These cars can't turn to high RPMs because they have the stock components, particularly the stock rocker room, so therefore they can't turn these engines as many RPMs as the Grand National cars.
Basically a 2,950-pound car working out here, 355 cubic inch motors. Danny Fair stays first. Curtis Markham knocking on the door as they work back through lap traffic and wheel around number 47. Phil Warren was in for some work on the front end of his car, and there's the 88 involved in an earlier incident being lapped. Wayne Patterson of Richmond, Virginia, one of the top runners in the Mid-Atlantic region, going another lap down. Bubba Adams in the white and blue, number 6, maintaining third, and you're now looking at number 55, who's been running a good, stout second.
Yes, Ken Curtis Markham is one of the most consistent performers in this group. Last year, he entered 37 races, won 12 of them, and finished in the top 10 35 times. In fact, the car that he's driving right now never finished out of the top 10. There
he goes trying the inside, and he gets caught up on a lap car, number 2, that was down at the bottom of the racetrack.
I think that's number 82, Charlie Doyle, who was in an earlier incident.
The leader, Danny Fair. What about driving strategy here at this Virginia State Fairgrounds? Here's what the leader.
One thing, I'm just going to mainly just keep him in sight. You know, but if he wants to run away, I'm going to let him run away. But I just want to be where I can catch him when I want to.
The man he wanted to catch, he's caught. Yes. Sawyer in that crash. He figured he'd be the man to go after. But Elton Sawyer's car, part of a 3-car jam session that eliminated that trio. And now the man in front remains, Danny Fair. The Al Brennan car runs in second place. One of the stories of Mid-Atlantic racing for many years. Al Brennan won over 500 races. That's his car, number 55, closing in another time. Driver Curtis Markham tries to get a lower line on a turn number 4. Just waits on his man, and then he cuts it low going for turn number 1.
Curtis is trying every trick in the book right now to make Danny make a mistake. He's just sitting there waiting for Danny to make a mistake so Curtis can get room to get under. This is an extremely tight racetrack. It's very difficult to pass on. The turns are narrow. They're very flat. It's hard to get underneath of that.
But here's a man coming up on the inside, trying that shot for first place. Curtis Markham, the Brennan car, down to the bottom. And here, right behind him, the man who started 21st into second spot goes Bubba Adams. Borrowed engine in the car. He was up till midnight on the phone trying to find somebody to loan him an engine. Markham is now first, number 55. He started outside of the front row, fell to 5th. He's now back in the lead, and Bubba Adams from 21st finds himself in second place.
Bubba has made an amazing run from the back of the pack to be a contender for the lead right now. He's a very strong, tough competitor, and I think Curtis Markham's going to have his hands full holding back there in second place.
A stock car lookalike to stroke a race. This Bubba Adams kind of maintains a burnt look as he comes in second spot down into the main straightaway, closing up on Curtis Markham. Ding-dong battle for the lead continues now into lap number 58. Markham stays first. Let's take a look at that battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th position. Car number 8, very much in there is Roger Austin and Al Daly. Stays right with him, and that's Wayne Hanbury in the number 12, trying the inside, and he's getting a spot and going up into 8th. 7th, 8th, and 9th position. A little further back in the field as we view this late model stock car race at the Virginia Fairgrounds in Richmond, Virginia, the heart of stock car racing.
Ken, as we watch the car number 12, Wayne Hanbury, battling for position, he is the guy that loaned the engine to Bubba Adams to use in his car. So Wayne put a new engine in his car this morning. Now Bubba's running ahead of him, so he might have second thoughts about that.
Too late to ask to get it back. Here's that number 12 down on the inside, now fighting for 7th spot. Hanbury trying to move up another spot on Roger Austin. Good battle further back in the field. That's the fight for 7th position. Meanwhile, car number 6 has come on pit road. Bubba Adams run up in second place. On pit road with a problem. Maybe that loaned engine. What do you say to a guy when you borrow an engine and all of a sudden it's on the fritz?
Well, there's not much you can say except I'm sorry.
Well, and a lot of Virginia fans sorry about the fate of Bubba Adams here in this 150. Curtis Markham continues to lead. Back with more in a moment.
The motor overheated on us. We dropped the valve yesterday in the motor and changed, and took one of Wayne Hanbury's motors, which Butch Canoodle built. The motor ran good, but the car was just handling so great I could run with a 4-cylinder. You felt like you could win this race. Pardon? Felt like you could win this race. Easy. I run up on Curtis when I wanted to. I backed off, tried to get the heat back off. It would come down and finally run to about 235, and I had to park it.
Bad day for Bubba. Curtis Markham in first. Continues to build up a lead over Fair in second. And Fair, there's a good challenge. There you see 89. Sid Carmine's car running third. And he's ready to take a shot at second place now.
Yes, he is. Sid started in the 7th position, his run up in the top group all day, and now he's underneath Danny Fair as they start off the 4th turn. It does pass him as they come down the straightaway.
Wheel to wheel into turn number 1. Fair back on the outside. They get trapped in the lap car. Carmines finds the hole. Goes to the eye of the needle out of turn number 2 as he comes up on the left car. And it's Carmines into second. Fair following to third. Fair comes back. He's challenging again. Trying for the spot at turn 3. 17 car, the lap machine. Calvin Tigner's car out of Ashland, Virginia. A lap down. Apparently got trapped somewhere in the race. Here's that 21. Fair trying again to go underneath Carmines as they've had a good battle going. Here's Carmines, number 89. Just drawing away from Fair, a tickle as they come off turn 4. In the 4th spot is Blankenship. Tucker Boyd finds himself 5th. Roger Austin 6th. Wayne Hanbury in 7th. The new division of NASCAR, drawing a tremendous crowd to the Virginia Fairgrounds in Richmond and seeing some great racing and some real surprises. Unfortunate ones for several of the favorites like Elton Sawyer, who thought this might be a stepping stone to greater heights, and instead finds himself in the pits very early after a collision in the outset of the race. Number 89, Sid Carmine's now in 2nd overall in the event, just past Fair. 8 cars have retired from the event since its inception.
Ken, the racetrack must be getting a little slick now. The cars are having a little trouble lapping the car of Alvin Tigner. Alvin's not really holding him up. He's on the bottom of the racetrack, but that seems to be the groove.
Blankenship is running right behind Danny Fair, and he may be a challenger here soon. Let's go to Jerry Garrett.
Todd Taylor, what happened to your car?
Well, when Elton blew the motor, I tried to go around him on the outside, and he just slid up the track and caught me inside and knocked the front end out of whack.
You're going to get back in it?
We might be able to get back in it, but the car is not going to run as well as it did before.
Here comes another challenge. Number 21 is trying to make a move on the inside and get underneath Carmines for second place. Battle is wheel to wheel coming off turn number 4, and Blankenship at the 11 is there. 3 cars dicing for second place.
Got a terrific battle right there, and the 2 cars, the car of 21 of Danny Fair and the 11 car of Blankenship, have moved past Sid Carmines into 2nd, 3rd spot, kick Carmines back to 4th.
So Fair in 2nd, Blankenship in 3rd, Carmines to 4th, Tucker Boyd just outside in 5th. The leader continues to be number 55 in heavy traffic. Sonny Simmons just in front of him now. Here's the driver to watch for the future, Curtis Markham. And let's take a look at the interval between 1st and 2nd position overall. As we see the Curtis Markham car, the Al Crimmins prepared machine. And now here comes that block battling for 2nd place. There you see the car number 21, the blue car over there, maintaining 2nd position.
Yes, Ken, there's a 5.85 difference between 5.85 second difference between 1st and 2nd place. So Curtis has things going his way right now. Seems to be pulling away from the rest of the field.
There you see him. Curtis Markham stays in front, maintaining a steady pace after he fell back to 5th earlier. We had a chance to talk with him about race strategy for this Virginia State Fairgrounds, and this is what Curtis Markham had to say about strategy.
Play it cool. Try to stay by yourself as much as possible and try not to get in trouble. Just drive a defensive race, really, until the last 50 laps, and then let it all hang out.
Past the halfway point in the race, we're at 78 laps of a 150-lap event for late model stock cars, not called sportsmen, but called stock cars. And there is a big difference in the definition of a sportsman car and a plain old NASCAR stock car, a difference that amounts to thousands of dollars.
That's true, Ken. These cars are probably one of the most economical that you can run in any of NASCAR's divisions. That's the reason we had such a strong turnout in the field here. These cars, you can buy an engine for about $5,000, $5,500, whereas a good late model sportsman engine would cost you $15,000 to $16,000. So there is a very big difference in the economics involved.
And men like Curtis Markham use that same engine all year. Just do some careful rebuilding. They can look at the valve train once in a while, and they stay in business.
That's true. Curtis told me that the engine he has in the car today, he ran through the first half of last year, then took it out and put the other engine in. So he runs one for about half the season, takes the other one, takes it out and puts the other one in, runs it the latter half of the season.
Never finished out of the top 10. Whoops. No number, no door.
Curtis Markham has got a 6-second lead. The second place battle is really hot. You know, you think the fans would not like it when the leader's out 6 seconds in front, but in Richmond, they love it because Curtis Markham is from Richmond. The local boy makes good.
Very popular driver, very popular car owner. Now, Brendan, over the years, was voted the most popular driver in NASCAR back in the mid-60s. Won a lot of races. Sonny Hutchins drove for him for a while. He battled Sonny Hutchins a lot of times. Now you're looking back at the battle for second place. And there you see the blue car of Danny Fair, then David Blankenship, and number 72, Tucker Boyd, followed by Wayne Hanbury. It's a good scrap. At number 11, Blankenship has driven his own race all day and mixes it up. Now in third spot. Looks like he could be the sleeper in this event.
He very well may be. David is a very tough competitor. He always runs well. He has 2 track championships under his belt now, so I would look for good things out of him.
Over 60 cars attempted qualifying for this event. A year ago, when we showed you the first of this series in Nashville, Tennessee, there were approximately 20 cars. It just shows you the growth of the sport when you get back to running real stock cars. That's true. These cars are so economically attractive to the guys that I think a lot of them are waiting to see if this division would indeed survive. They realize that it will, and they're all out here full board racing now in a division that they can readily afford. The number 44 car is trying to make up some time. I believe he's a lap down. Todd Taylor's car, working on Blankenship in the number 11. Yeah, Todd is several laps down. He was involved in that crash when Elton Sawyer had his engine problem over there. But Todd seems to have the car working well again. Is just out there trying to pick up some points. The Mid-Atlantic region, very, very busy at Manassas, Virginia, the Old Dominion Speedway. Danny Fair in car number 21 continues to maintain second position. We asked what his chief mechanical worry was going to be for this race.
It's basically a stock motor. You know, it's 2-barrel carburetor, it's stock manifolds, and you know, we turn these motors, I mean, these are type motors that people actually run out on the streets, and we turn them anywhere from 7 to 7,500. And I don't know. I reckon this will be the real test if they'll go 150 laps. I don't really know. Hope so. So far, the vote is very much in favor of 150 laps for this car, number 21, Danny Fair. Here's the leader again, Curtis Markham, who continues to build up a handsome lead. He certainly does. Curtis told me that he tries to turn his engine about 68 to 6,900 RPM so that it would live. These cars don't normally run more than 50 to 100 lap features at the most. So a 150 lap race on a half-mile racetrack is a long way for them. Caution is coming out of the track. We have a smoker down at turn number 1. Unhinging an engine is the driver of car number 82, Charlie Doyle, who had trouble earlier today, had some problems up in turn number 3. And he has brought out still another caution with 96 laps complete. Charlie Doyle's engine goes away, and it will bunch the field back up. Curtis Markham's advantage of almost 7 seconds evaporates. Danny Fair will be right behind him on a restart with David Blankenship third, Tucker Boyd in fourth, Wayne Hanbury in fifth. We'll be back with more of the action from the Virginia State Fairgrounds in Richmond. Green flag is on. Markham trying to pull away from Danny Fair in the closing moments of this 150-lap late model stock car from the old Virginia State Fairgrounds. And getting the leap out of turn number 2 and into the back straightaway, Markham with the advantage of about 2 car lengths. Danny Fair trying to take it back. 32-year-old Fair in the light blue car, who won 4 races on the 1984 campaign, comes into 85. Seeking to take that spot away from Markham up on top in one of the biggest races the stock car division has had to date. Here you see the cars that have fallen by the wayside thus far in the going in a rock'em sock'em event on this half-mile track. Not much room for error here, Glenn Jarrett. No, there certainly isn't. This place is not very forgiving at all, as some of the early leading competitors have already seen. Now we're watching Danny Fair close up on Markham. The
running back about 2 car lengths. Tries to tuck his nose under out of turn number 2. Does not get through. The car built by his dad, Charles Fair. Here he is again closing up.
Yes, he's really putting the pressure on Curtis now, trying to force Curtis into mistakes. Hoping he can catch him watching that rearview mirror instead of the racetrack ahead of him. Danny's driving a very smart race right now.
3rd spot is Blankenship. 4th spot is Hanbury. 5th spot is Webster. Battle is here for the lead. Curtis Markham in front. Started outside of the front row, and the man who set on the pole for the event is now trying to take that lead back. Both have fallen back dramatically. Now they're on the top of the heap.
That the attrition is so high. We mentioned at the top of the show, it's a big racetrack. Speed these drivers are not used to, and also a bigger racetrack than they're used to. And a lot of the drivers have not been able to keep up with the racetrack.
Thank you, Benny Parsons. At the STP Pit Center today, former Grand National Champion Benny Parsons taking a look at the kind of racing which every driver starts on. Benny up the Michigan area. Now take a look at Fair down the inside. 55 Markham gets a little out of the line, and when he does, Fair is there trying to take advantage at turn 3.
The bottom group seems to be the fast group, and Danny Fair has that right now as he puts a fender up ahead of Curtis Markham as they start down the front stretch. This is quite a battle.
Danny Fair qualified at 92.874, Markham at 92.720, and here they are late in the race, wheel to wheel in the back straightaway, headed for 3. Something's got to give. Still wheel to wheel at 3. Fair gets a little bit of advantage as they come to 4. Markham falls back.
Danny Fair takes the lead as they come down the front stretch, and now Curtis Markham is falling back. The 44 car, Todd Taylor, has passed him. Danny starting to pull away. We don't know if Curtis has a problem or not, but Danny Fair is indeed stretching the lead right now.
Danny Fair out of Woodbridge, Virginia, has himself the advantage once again as he passes Markham late in the race. 129 laps complete, this time by over 150 in the event. Blankenship maintaining 3rd, Hanbury 4th, Webster 5th, Alvin Tigner in 6th. Bugs Harefield is now 7th in the field. There's your leader, number 21. Danny Fair, Service Specialties Incorporated Camaro, is in 1st place. The number 44 car, Todd Taylor, laps down in the CX Press Camaro. Looks like he's got all his problems solved. He's trying to get a lap back here.
Certainly does. He has the quickest car on the racetrack right now. He's acting as kind of a buffer zone or a cushion for Danny Fair right now, taking the space between Danny and Curtis Markham in 2nd place.
Further back, the battle for 3rd position is still a screamer. Watching the leader, Fair, number 21. There's 55 Markham. Now let's take a look at 3rd, 4th, and 5th. There's that number 11 car of Blankenship, and right behind it, the number 12 car of Hanbury, and Webster is right there in the number 37. Number 12 takes a shot on the inside. Hanbury of Blankenship out of turn 4. Lap car in front, number 48, no place to go as he wheeled around Sonny Simmons. There's Blankenship in that 3rd spot. And still coming is car number 12, Wayne Hanbury, trying to move through, and the 37 car stays very much in it, David Webster.
We haven't heard much out of David Webster today. He started in the 6th position. He just kind of laid back and played the waiting game. It's paid off for him right now. He's currently in 5th position and trying to make a move on Wayne Hanbury to move into 4th.
133 of the 150 laps now complete. Fair out in front by about 3 car lengths. This is the battle. It is for 3rd. Markham in the 55 has passed that number 44, the lap car. He has a clean shot once again at the light blue number 21 of Danny Fair. If he has one more go for it in there, he gets a much lower line as he goes into number 1, and you can see him close up. Lap car number 04 just in front of him there, Bugs Harefield, who is 7th on the race, and he is the last car in the lead lap, and he goes a lap down.
Yes, Curtis has really closed the distance in now. He's only about 2 car lengths behind Danny, so he may be making a strong run at the finish here.
Benny Parsons, your observation here.
Ken Squire, I've been watching the race on the monitor that we have here down in Pit Communication Center, and I wondered, how did Curtis Markham drive away from the pole sitter, Danny Fair? And now I wonder, how does Danny Fair pass Curtis Markham back? I think that Danny Fair was really excited about running on the big racetrack. Coming to the fairgrounds, to the half-mile racetrack, I think he got the adrenaline going a little bit too strong. early on in the race, I think he used the tires up. He got the tires hot, and he wasn't able to keep up. Curtis Markham, meanwhile, was just steady, a very conservative pace, keeping his tires good and cool. Danny Fair, the adrenaline stopped flowing. He cooled his tires off, went right back to the front, and he just might win this race.
Thank you, Benny Parsons. Less than 10 laps to go. You change a tire here, it costs you. Change a tire under yellow is a 2-lap penalty. Look at this battle for the lead. Now look at this battle further back. Battle back in the 4th and 5th position here. That's car number 12, Wayne Hanbury, number 37, Webster at it. Right in front of them, number 11, running third, David Blankenship. That little trio's had a good time, and now let's go back with the leaders as we get ready to decide it here. For a moment, Fair has the advantage. Tires really the story here and how to use them, Glenn.
That's true, and it looks like right now Danny's car is not running through the middle of the turn quite as quick as it was a while ago, and Curtis Markham has been able to close back up on almost to his rear bumper. They went through some traffic then, and Danny was able to get a car length or so ahead of him, but Curtis is really keeping the pressure on him right now.
7 laps to go, and they come by this time. Fair stays in first, and Markham in second, and then it's a long way back to third position, and Blankenship almost a quarter of a track. Back they go to the first turn. Fair getting high. Markham trying to get underneath.
Yeah, when Danny goes high, Curtis is not able to do anything with him, though. The cars seem to be very, very evenly matched right now, so it's going to be a drag race to the finish.
They come around this time. There will be 6 laps remaining. The leader, number 21, Danny Fair, holding on for the biggest payday of his career, which would be some $3,000 in this series. Number 55, Markham right with him. Markham closes at turn number 3. He leaps into those corners and pulls up, has a better handle going in. Coming off the corner, the 21 pulls. This time the 55 is there all the way down that 600-foot straightaway. 12-degree banking helps you a little, Mike.
Yes, it does. The cars are running very tight, almost like a draft on a super speedway. Of course, the draft doesn't come into effect here on a short track like this. But now we've got smoke coming out of Danny's car as he starts through the corner there. Don't know if there's anything serious, but a big puff of smoke did come out of the car. He doesn't seem to have slowed, though.
Danny Fair, he must have realized that something went wrong slightly on that car for a moment. Stays in first. Markham closing in.
These cars have adjustable brakes on them. It could be that Danny had his rear brakes a little too tight then and slid the wheels as he started off of that turn.
Lap count is down. 147 complete, 55 going to the outside. This is Markham making his move. Fair rides him high in turn number 2.
Danny forces him up high and forces Curtis to back out of the throttle as he heads down the backstretch. At this point in the race, all Danny Fair wants to do is to keep Curtis Markham behind him any way that he can.
Markham takes a look on the inside, comes back, laps down to 2. Danny Fair in first, Curtis Markham in second. Which way will it go?
Terrific battle now as they start off of turn 2 and down the backstretch, and Danny Fair pulls about 2 car lengths away from Curtis. Curtis got a little wide that time going off the corner, and it hurt his chances.
White flag out this time by. Still in third, it's Blankenship with Hanbury fourth and Webster in fifth. Getting down to decide it. White flag is on them. Into turn number 1. Markham presses for the inside. Fair holds the middle line with a white flag out.
Curtis Markham loses it coming off a 2, turns sideways, gathers the car back in, but it looks like Danny Fair is going to win it going away now. Curtis was going all out to try to get by him, and the car got away from him, and he just had to back out till he got it straightened out and lets Danny win the race very easily.
So it's number 21, Danny Fair, for first position, and Markham, who gave it his very best shot, overshot the second turn. Still is able to come home second. Blankenship will finish in third. Wayne Hanbury fourth. David Webster for fifth. Alvin Tigner for sixth as they finish the 150-lapper here at the Virginia State Fairgrounds.
Very tough break for Curtis Markham. He drove a terrific race there, was really keeping the pressure on the winner, Danny Fair. But as I said, as he started off of turn 2 for the final time, the car got away from him. Not to take anything away from Danny, he really drove a terrific race.
32-year-old Danny Fair wins the biggest race of his career here at the Virginia State Fairgrounds in Richmond. Back with more in a moment. Danny Fair wins the event, as much an enduro as a race. Let's join him in victory lane.
Well, very happy Danny Fair. How'd you do it?
I don't know. I just stayed out there and tried to stay out of trouble. And I was worried about Bubba there at the end, but it seemed like his car started loosening up and mine started tightening up. So I seen a hole, so I went for it.
You got in a little melee in the middle of the race there. Did it damage your car at all?
I don't know, but I hit Elton Sawyer when he was leading the race. I didn't mean to do it, but the car behind me hit me. It was just one of them things, but I sure am sorry about it.
You came back strong in the end there. Did you save your tires for the last?
Well, yes, I was trying to save the car. I figured I would let somebody else lead and let them abuse their tires and save mine.
Your biggest victory so far, I suppose.
Sure thing.
A splendid day for Danny Fair as a record crowd for this event turns out at the Richmond, Virginia State Fairgrounds. Stock car competition, short track competition coming here and showing himself at his very best. A final observation today from Benny Parsons.
Ken Squire, I think it's very, very neat. It was a great crowd, a great race, but the neatest thing I liked about the whole thing was the winner didn't know how to find victory lane. I think that was a message there.
So that's the story of the 1985 Richmond 150 for late model stock cars. For Jerry Garrett on pit road, Benny Parsons at the STP Pit Center, and Glenn Jarrett, I'm Ken Squire.